Oh, yeah. Oh, we don't understand. Where is Robin? Where is Robin? What? What? Robin's not here today. I'm here!
That's what that was.
Welcome to a new live session from NZ Pocket Guide, guys. We are going to be talking about everything travel in New Zealand because we are kind of the experts of traveling in New Zealand. But Laura, why are we the experts?
Well, this is Robin, and as he says, I'm Laura,
and this is Weet-Bix.
And that is Weet-Bix. Yes, sorry. We often do get comments saying, "Where's Weet-Bix?" So here he is, right at the beginning of the episode.
Here you go.
There
you
you
don't
go.
forget it.
So yeah, anyway, we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide. It literally has thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan the perfect trip to New Zealand. But if you're not really into reading, that's what this live Q&A session is right here. We do this every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And if you want to know what time that is in your time zone, there's a handy link in the description below. Or you can always click on subscribe and the notification bell, and you'll get a notification just before we go live. But anyway, this is the place to come and get your New Zealand travel questions answered. Just go into the live chat and ask away. But if you do miss the live session, you can put your question in the comments of any of our YouTube videos. We usually pull those questions together so we can answer those during the live session as well. Or we'll just answer your questions straight up through the comments section.
We have a silly that says that it's 2200, so it's at 10 p.m. I don't know where you are in the world, silly, but give us some context. That's a good time. It's not too late, not too early. I like it. All right, so who's in the live chat right now? As per usual, I'm reading all the comments, we're answering all the questions, and when you guys don't have questions, we do have plenty of other things to talk about. I mean, it has been an eventful week here in New Zealand, to say the least. All right, so we have Anthony Comstock that says Morena from Rodeo, California.
Morena, it means good morning in the Maori language.
And he says, this time I'm on time. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Good to have you on board on time today. Good tick. You're going to get a gold star today. Ta-da! Nathan Baith, which is a local based in Taupo, says, Kia ora. Good morning, Laura and Robin. How is it going? Been back in level 4. Well, we're not thrilled about it, I'll be honest with you. But, we'll make do. It is obviously a little bit of a bane. If you guys don't know the context, New Zealand went back into lockdown this week, and we'll cover that extensively during the news segment of this live session, obviously. But yes, we're back into lockdown. Woohoo! Look at the happiness on my face when I say that. Cool. We have Anthony. So he says, I hope that everybody is safe. I've heard that there are about 31 cases. I've heard that 6 new ones recently between Auckland and Wellington. They have some Delta variant, so I hope that everybody is safe. So it's 51 cases and all of them are Delta. So yeah, we are all staying safe. The government is taking really quick actions and we're all in lockdown now. So hopefully we're all going to be safe. Laura and I are safe. And on top of it, Laura and I are fully vaccinated. So we are double safe. So we are in lockdown, we are confined, we don't see anyone, and we've got the vaccine. So we, just the two of us, very safe. Very safe. If you were worried about that. Okay, so Sally says she's from Germany, so that's cool. So it's 10 o'clock in Germany right now. Nice one. Welcome. Guten Nacht to you in Germany. Sunny Studio says, good morning. Good morning, Sunny Studio. How are you doing? Adil says, kia ora, Robin and Laura.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Sandeep says, for December 2021, when will MIQ, which is quarantine, will open? Any info? Man, with the news this week, we really have no idea. It's really up in the air right now. So at this stage, I'd say hold on to your horses. Don't book anything. Don't do anything until the situation here in New Zealand stabilizes first. I think this has definitely thrown a wrench into the wheels of plans of reopening and any of the recent announcements we've been covering, sadly.
Yeah.
Violet Zulu says, good morning. Love you guys all the way from Pretoria in South Africa.
Wow.
Yes,
nice.
And now I know that Pretoria is the capital of South Africa because I made a mistake a couple of weeks ago. We have Clay Bryant, which says, good morning all. How is it going in Dunedin, Clay, for you? We have Microsoft iPhone. I don't think that works good, yeah?
The Microsoft iPhone?
No, that's what I mean. Anyway, Microsoft iPhone says, when border open for India? Oh, it's not happening anytime soon, mate. So you may want to check out some of our videos when we did cover, the latest announcement and everything like that. But even during the latest announcement, India was actually noted as one of the high-risk country, and therefore one of the countries that probably will have the most restrictions for the longest time. And at this stage, on top of it, with the recent outbreak in New Zealand, I will, I'll be hesitant to even say maybe in 2022, but maybe, and I'm hesitant to say that. Sunny Studio says, I'm good, and you, thanks for asking. Well, we're doing good. As mentioned before, we're back in lockdown, so a bit bummed down, but it'd be okay. And we have Sandy that says, thank you for the reply. You're very welcome, mate. Sorry I didn't have any better news for you. The issue that we're having right now is that the situation is super fluid. It changes day by day. Here in New Zealand, what happens when we enter lockdown is that the government does a press conference either at 1 p.m. or at 3 p.m. every single day. And they keep us appraised of what has happened and the latest numbers and all that. And literally, it felt this week that every single time we had a press conference, things were changing. And, there was nothing that was going better or worse. But we're expecting the cases. Right now, we're at 51 to increase and then after to decrease because we went in lockdown really fast. So right now, we're probably going to have like 100, 200 cases, and then it's going to go back down. But at this stage right now, we are in the stage where cases increase all the time. And so it's been a bit of a roller coaster this week.
It has indeed.
All right, guys, should we get started with the news? You guys always like when we do the news. So we'll do the news and we'll get back to live chat right afterwards. So, news. Welcome to New Zealand Travel News, the segment when we go over the news that people looking to travel to or in New Zealand may care about. We are the team behind New Zealand's largest travel guide, NZPocketGuide.com. I am Robin, and this is Laura.
Thanks for that, Robin. Now let's get started with our first news, which actually comes straight from us at NZ Pocket Guide, entitled Bad Timing. NZ Pocket Guide launches a new video series. So here at NZ Pocket Guide, we launched a new video series in which we go over fantastic getaways for a weekend out of each New Zealand city. The series of videos started with the city of Hamilton on Wednesday and will continue next Wednesday with the city of Auckland. Although this is not the best time for a weekend getaway, we hope that it will give you inspiration of things to look forward to when the lockdown period is over. Find the first video of this series by searching Weekend Getaways from Hamilton on YouTube.
So yeah, that's right. We did prepare that for the last couple of months. A lot of videos about basically the largest cities of New Zealand, in which if you end up being based there, if you're working there, or if you're just there for quite a while, you may want to kind of do a getaway, get out for the weekend and go check out some cool places. So I'm going over some of my favorite things to do from each of those cities. And sadly, the timing wasn't great. But if you want to support the channel and check out some awesome things to look forward to, you may want to check out those. So they're going to come out every single Wednesday for the foreseeable future, probably for about like 10 or 15 weeks. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so for the next stage of the news, so it has been a week of developments here in New Zealand with the COVID-19 basically outbreak that has happened in the country. So what we're going to be doing over the three pieces of news is that we're going to go over basically the three main things that happened in order, starting with when the lockdown was declared.
Okay, so this is from Radio New Zealand, published on the 17th of August 2021, entitled COVID-19 Community Case. Nationwide Level 4 Lockdown. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has announced an alert Level 4 lockdown starting at midnight on the 17th of August for 7 days in Auckland and Coromandel and 3 days elsewhere. Ardern and Director General of Health Ashley Bloomfield briefed media after a cabinet meeting on the COVID-19 community case identified in Auckland today, or on the 17th of August. The Ministry of Health announced that about 2:30 p.m. a new case had been found in the community in Auckland, saying a link between the case and the border or managed isolation has not been established. Health officials have been interviewing the case, so contacts could be traced and any locations of interest identified. This evening, health officials released 5 locations of interest in the Coromandel, which have been published on the Ministry of Health website. In announcing the government's decision, Ardern said going hard and early had worked before and that the Delta variant was harder to combat. Bloomfield said that they were assuming it is the Delta variant. The man, 58-year-old male from Devonport on Auckland's North Shore, lives with his wife.
All right. So later on, during the same kind of day or 24-hour period before the next press conference, it was confirmed that the cases was the Delta variant, which is the most contagious one, and for this reason, New Zealand moved to this higher level, and it was likely to be extended. And guess what happened? It was, but in the meantime, something else happened.
Yes, in the meantime, another piece of news from Radio New Zealand published on the 18th of August 2021, and this one is entitled Cook Islands Suspends Travel Bubble with New Zealand. The Cook Islands has suspended travel from New Zealand, and anyone who arrived from New Zealand from the 11th of August is required to isolate and get tested if they have symptoms of COVID-19 or were at locations of interest in New Zealand. The Cook Islands Prime Minister Mark Brown suspended the travel bubble by shifting the country to Alert Level 2 from midnight on the 17th of August after New Zealand officials reported new COVID-19 cases. 4 community cases were reported in New Zealand overnight, including an Auckland hospital worker, bringing the total to 5. The latest cases have been linked to Tuesday's first case in Auckland, which is confirmed as the Delta variant.
So so the Cook Islands were the only country in New Zealand that basically had a travel bubble, with meaning quarantine-free travel, and now this quarantine-free travel has stopped. So this is not good news for even the predictions of borders opening, sadly. So pretty much anything that we covered before is on hold at this stage.
Yeah. And our final piece of news, this one is from CNN, published on the 20th of August, 2021, entitled New Zealand to extend national lockdown after more COVID-19 cases identified. New Zealand will extend a nationwide lockdown for 4 days after uncovering several locally transmitted COVID-19 cases. The lockdown began Tuesday over a single infection, the country's first locally transmitted case since February. That patient had contracted highly transmissible Delta variant of coronavirus. Authorities have since uncovered another 30 active cases, including 11 locally transmitted infections that were announced on Friday. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said the lockdown would give contact tracers a chance to assess how much of the country has been impacted by the coronavirus's spread out of Auckland, New Zealand's largest city, and where the first patient was identified. Some cases have been discovered in the capital, Wellington. The extension will last until at least Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Authorities will reevaluate the situation on Monday, Ardern said. The patient at the centre of the most recent cluster was an unvaccinated 58-year-old man who had travelled to other parts of the country and had no obvious link to the border, Director General of Health Ashley Bloomfield said on Tuesday. His diagnosis prompted Ardern and the public health officials to institute a level 4 lockdown, the country's strictest level. The measure means everyone must stay at home and businesses are closed aside for essential services such as supermarkets and pharmacies. We are one of the last countries in the world to have the Delta variant in our community, Ardern said on Tuesday. We're in the position to learn from experiences overseas and what actions work and what actions don't work.
All right, so yeah, we're back in lockdown, as you guys can tell, and we are, it's supposed to be reviewed on Monday, the new lockdown, but it is likely to be pushed further, to be quite honest. So where we are right now, so vaccination has restarted here in New Zealand. So it was paused for a couple of days, and now it has restarted, and the uptake is rising. So the population is getting vaccinated faster, which is really good news. Currently, New Zealand is still far behind a lot of other countries, with a vaccination rate of 19.4% of the population being fully vaccinated. Vaccines are now available in New Zealand for kids from 12 to 15 years old. So now there is a wider range of the population which is eligible for the vaccine, which is good. And yesterday in the community, there was 21 new cases declared for a total of 51 cases right now. So the situation is still extremely evolving. And for this reason, we've decided not to wrap up this news segment with a travel deal, because it would just not be fair. Every week, we usually cover and add an extra travel deal to tell you something which is cheap to do around New Zealand at the moment, but I think that wouldn't be fair because we are fully expecting the lockdown to be further implemented later on down in the week. So that wraps up our travel news. Don't forget to like and subscribe to reward all our hard work and stay up to date with our videos. Plus, check out nzpocketguide.com for thousands of tips, hidden gems, and much more. Let's go back to the live chat. Okay, where are we? We have Clay that says he's doing great here. They have plenty of time in there on his hand at the moment. So finally getting on top of all the half-finished renovations around the house. And between extra time now I have with the kids, I leave it to you to think which one I do for a break or the other. So yeah. We actually have done a bit of work around the house as well. We've worked on the greenhouse and you know, just the garden.
Preparing the garden for spring.
Exactly. So yeah, we've done some work. Everybody kind of has to keep their hands busy anyway.
Yeah.
Violet says, I'm good. Thank you for replying. I'm just stressed about New Zealand going back to level 4. I've been waiting for so long for the borders to open quite again. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we are obviously very stressed about that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, obviously, we are very keen, obviously, for you guys to come to New Zealand and be able to plan your trips on nzpocketguide.com. But also, we are really keen to bring you more travel guides from the South Pacific. But obviously, the more that the borders are closing, the less likely that is for us to do that anytime soon.
Yeah, and she said, it seems there is a network problem today. I cannot stand it. Is it really that bad today, guys? Can you tell us if you can see us well or if the quality is okay? I was quickly checking. We now have the tablet to kind of check if the quality is bad or not. But I don't know if it makes the quality worse because we are using internet. So I'm unsure. But yeah, tell us if you can see us, hear us well or anything, or if it's terrible.
Yeah. We are. When are we getting fiber? We're meant to be getting it in November, but maybe that will be pushed back now because of the lockdown. But
yeah, hopefully November. Yeah. Then we have Extreme Talauta that says Morena. If you guys don't know, Morena means good morning in Maori, which is the local indigenous language. What is Kiwi Lauren saying, Laura?
Kiwi Lauren says, hi, Robin and Laura. I hope you're doing well in lockdown. Our cases are spiking over here right now too. Can't wait until this is all over. Us too.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, Kiwi Lauren is in Canada.
Yes.
Canada.
And she goes on to say, you look and sound great. No problem with the video or audio quality on this end. Okay, well, that's good.
I mean, I know I always look great, but, you know, is the video quality okay? That's what I want to know. Okay, Clay said it's all good here. Perfect. Anthony said there's no any problem yet with the service, but who knows then later on. And Nathan, which is in Taupo, say it's all good. I mean, for you, Nathan, if you're based in Taupo, you're literally on the same island as us. It better be good. I mean, it is, you know, it is how the internet works, right? It definitely doesn't go to server somewhere and then come back. So yeah,
we're all just linked by a wire, and that's how the internet just gets there.
Exactly. All right. You guys also really like when we do polls. So just so you know, I did put a poll up. Now I try to remember some ideas for polls. Also, if you do have some ideas for polls for next week's and everything, just put them in the comment. It's always a good idea. But right now, I am asking you, what is your favorite video length? Do you like them to be under 5 minutes? Do you like them to be between 5 and 10 minutes or 10 minutes and longer? And the vast majority of you like them 10 minutes and longer, which is very surprising.
Yeah.
I have been recording a lot of very short videos lately. I've been working hard on recording shorter videos because they're usually the one that people like the most. And now you are telling me you like them longer. I'm never going to win, am I? But yeah.
You can't please everyone. That's the thing.
But now it's a vast majority of people that like them 10 minutes longer. So,
okay.
Well, guys, you may have to hang on a little bit until you get some longer video from us because I did literally record like tens and tens of videos lately and they're all quite short.
But we do have different videos coming out every week, right? So we have our recaps of New Zealand's biggest gap year. How long are they?
Yeah, those ones are a little bit longer. Yeah. So make sure you check out the recaps of New Zealand's biggest gap year. They're all about 10 minutes long. Okay, so Adil says the video is 100% clear and the audio is 100% clear.
Cool,
boom, I like that. 100%, all in the green. Kiwi Lorenz say, yes, that's definitely what she meant.
Yes.
You are just so beautiful. Almost as beautiful as my darling Weet-Bix. Oh, well, you had to show up on time. Whitbix did get us started in the live session.
He did make an appearance. He did make an announcement right at the beginning.
Yes. So you may want to rewind and then check that out at the end of the video.
I'm not really sure it was an announcement. That might be selling it a bit.
I was just looking to see if it was live or not. I was just playing around. Sunny Studio says video and voice quality is perfect. Just the camera white balance is not perfect. The white balance of the camera.
That's too technical for you, Robin.
Yeah,
I have been learning some photography skills of late. Maybe it's because it's taking the white balance off.
Yeah, there is auto white balance, so I could change that. Now we're all blue, guys. What about that? You don't like it?
What do you prefer? Do you prefer us blue? Do you prefer us with a bit of an orange tinge, maybe just completely white? Also, I do have a very pale face, so usually, this is actually my real face. That's not just the camera trying to make me more white than
I hope that this is a little bit better white balance was just white balance wise. Wow, that is a sentence now. Anyway, hey, Sunny Studio, tell me what you think about this one now. I just changed it a little bit. Is it better? Is it worse? Should I go a little bit more up or a little bit more down? Or, just tell me.
Yeah.
Raihan Hafiz says, is New Zealand still in lockdown? Laura, that's for you.
Yes, it is. We did just go through our news section, which you can just rewind a few minutes back, and we do go over what the announcements for this week were in terms of the lockdown. But yes, in short, we are still in lockdown in New Zealand, currently at level 4, which is the highest level, meaning that basically everyone has to stay at home unless they're working in sort of essential services like supermarkets and pharmacies, and people can only leave the house to go to a supermarket or a pharmacy.
What she says.
Yeah.
Tanya says, post this lockdown, will immigration office be open for visas? So the issue that we're having right now is that post this lockdown right now, we're still going to have the borders closed, right? So this lockdown applies to people in New Zealand. We have to stay in lockdown, right? So there's a difference between the, countrywide quarantine policies and the lockdown in the country. So right now, we are currently in lockdown in the country, meaning that Laura and I, we can't leave our home. We can if we need to go to the pharmacy or to go to the supermarket and everything. We also do shopping for the elderly neighbors, those kind of things, right? But otherwise, we can't leave our home. And obviously, there are some exceptions. I'm just really kind of explaining things in the simplest of terms, right? Now, there is also quarantine policies now in New Zealand. So anyone that comes from outside of New Zealand has to be in 14 days quarantine. And so that kind of amounts basically to a countrywide lockdown. It's a big ask for people to do all that. And there is very limited places in the quarantine facilities in New Zealand. So what New Zealand immigration is doing is that they're not issuing any visas because they don't know when you will have a chance to come into the country. And the policies of Immigration New Zealand, even before COVID, right, it has always been to only issue visas to people which have a chance to come into the country. And because, there is not much of a chance right now, and they don't know when you will be able to come to New Zealand, they will not actually issue visas. So until the borders of New Zealand actually reopen, immigration, or at least there is a set date of when will the border reopen, Immigration New Zealand will not start processing visas. So what Immigration New Zealand has been doing in the meantime is that they worked a lot on cancelling every application that they got, issuing refunds, and they're still working through this process, as well as issuing visas and helping people which are currently in New Zealand, because there are some people which came to New Zealand and then they got locked down in the country. They couldn't go back home. So we had to sort this out as well. So New Zealand immigration will start again issuing visas at some point, but not until we know when the borders will be opening. There will be some exceptions in the meantime for very specific cases, some specific skills that the country needs, just those very, very, very small exceptions, but they are going to be in the tens. And that is it, right? Not in the thousands like it used to be before. So I hope that help you understand a little bit more the context right here of basically the psyche of Immigration New Zealand at this stage. And this is why there is no concrete answer on when will they start giving you visas, because they link to when will the border open, and when will the border open will be linked to how your country handled the pandemic, how we handling this current lockdown right now, and so many other factors. So simply put, there is literally no answer, and even Immigration New Zealand does not know when they're going to start again.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the live chat, we have a comment from Swapnil Cardil saying, "Thanks for recommending me First Light Travel. They have given me a very good itinerary. I did mention them that New Zealand Pocket Guide guys helped me connect with First Light Travel. So cool. Thanks for letting them know that it was us that recommended it to them.
They're good people, and that's the thing on NZPocketGuide.com, right? We have the travel guide, right? And on there, we really recommend companies that we know and trust, right? So we, like people that we use, people that we know, like think that actually, you're gonna get really cool service out of. And I'm glad that they've done a really good itinerary for you. That's awesome.
That's cool.
So thank you, Swapnil. I hope that you're gonna get to actually do that itinerary at some point. So when is your tentative date to come to do that? Tell us a little bit. And will it be both islands, only one island? Give us a bit
let us know
of context.
We like to talk New Zealand travel. It seems very rare nowadays, but
I know it's a luxury nowadays.
All right, we have some more white balance talk going on in the live chat.
Clay is telling me that is definitely too blue. No, he wants it more blue. Okay, white. What are you guys? Yep. So only 2 options for white balance. Okay. I'm gonna go. You read what people say from Clay, and then I'll tell you stuff.
So Clay says definitely blue, lol. Violet says white for me, lol. And then Clay says, "What's the?" Oh, well, this is going off the white balance topic.
Yeah.
I'll come back. I'll come back to that. And then we've got Sunny Studio SA saying only 2 options for white balance.
No, I have like a slider. Actually, I can share my screen. Actually, technically.
Maybe the saturation's a bit too high.
I don't know. Let me share my screen.
Which might be turning us orange or.
No. If I do that and then I do that, you guys may be able to see my. Yeah, you may be able to see there. Here you go. So you see right here, I can move the white balance right here. So I can make us blue right here. Oh, look at us, all blue. Or I can make us all orange and something in between, which is what I'm trying to do right now.
And we are working with a Logitech webcam.
So they can see the software right now. So you guys can see it. So you see, that's basically the couple of settings that I have, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I usually leave everything as auto, and auto, this one will give us what you're seeing right now. And this is what is manual. So yeah. That's you see everything of behind the scene right here.
Wow.
Tell me if there's something you prefer or not. Yeah. Tell me if there's something you prefer or not. I'm happy to change it. It really doesn't matter much for me. Cool.
Anyway, we'll get back to Clay's question about the Beehive tour. So he says, what's the Beehive tour like? Been there, but not inside. I assume it's just like any other building inside.
It's terrible. It's literally the single worst activity to do in New Zealand. You should check out a video of us doing it.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
Oh, Robin. It's awful. It's awful.
So the thing
they take you to
listen.
Bloody
listen. So the thing to note about the Beehive tour inside is that the only time you actually tour the Beehive area of the building itself is basically when you're sat in a room. They do a bit of a PowerPoint presentation on a screen to sort of tell you what's about to happen in the tour, and you basically sit in there at the entrance to the Beehive, and then they give you a tour of buildings that are basically government buildings around the Beehive. So you
don't even go inside the Beehive.
So the thing to mainly note about the Beehive tour is that you aren't actually touring inside the Beehive part of the building itself. So yeah, obviously we expected that was going to be the case when it's called you think you're going around the Beehive, but that's not the case. They do take you more into sort of the library section of the government buildings. They do take you to is it the cabinet, the chamber halls or whatever, where where they have the debates and stuff.
Yeah, they do like a meeting office, like an office room and meeting.
Oh, yeah, a couple of offices.
Like it's basically terrible. It's the worst thing. You don't even go inside the Beehive. You go to a library and to the office of a person. Then they get you to get rid of your phone. You need to strip down. Like you get rid of your phone, your cameras, everything. It's absolutely the worst. The most interesting things is literally looking at a screen of like a 1992 documentary of like New Zealand Parliament. It's just absolute rubbish. And if you guys don't know why I'm ranting, right? Okay. So the Parliament building is the Beehive building in Wellington, and it's a really big building where you apparently can do a tour there. And we've done this tour. We've done this tour with Laura during New Zealand Speakers Gap Year, and that is absolutely horrible. And even when you go inside the library, the only book you see is iPads for Dummies, which is just gobsmacking. Anyway, it drives me bananas. I'm sorry for the rants. It is just in my opinion, the single worst activities I've ever done in New Zealand, and I've done over 600. Anyway, now after this rant, guys, YouTube is telling me to tell you to like the video.
If you like our honest feedback on the tours around New Zealand,
there's
then
21 people watching this video and only 9 likes. So YouTube says people don't like what you're doing. So I'm sorry for the rant, peeps. I just feel like sometimes I need to tell you when things are really not worth your time. It is free, so it's not even bad being worth your money. But man, it is not worth your time. It's such a waste of an hour and a half. I mean, you can do so much more. I mean, people have wrote world-class poetry in that time. People have wrote songs. People have invented, electric toothbrush and stuff like that. I don't know. Do something else with your life. Reinvent the wheel, goddammit. Just don't go to the Beehive tour in Parliament. That's my opinion. And yeah.
But it is free. Well, it is probably paid by taxpayers.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's free. And then we do have it on NZ Pocket Guide. There's some of the free things to do in Wellington and everything, because it can be educational for the kids and everything. But if you, as the parent, do the work, because they surely won't.
And Clay asks, you don't even get to see the gallery where they all fight like children. Yes, that's what I was trying to say before, like I guess that's what it's called, the gallery. Obviously, we did take in a lot of information during this tour.
It was terrible. The lady was mumbling. She hated her life. It was very clear.
Yeah. So yeah, they showed us where they do the debates and stuff like that, and they also they did show us a corridor where they have paintings or portraits of the various prime ministers over the years as well.
And some people may like it. It was just not my thing. And so I'm just, I know I'd sound emotional and crazy right now and everything, but some people may like it. It's absolutely fine. Everybody has like a different kind of, opinion on it. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's free to try out. So if you do want to form your own opinion, but we can't obviously promise you it's the best thing on earth. But if you do want to go form your own opinion, at least you know that you're only going to be maybe, I think it only lasts an hour, so it's only an hour of your life that you're going to lose.
And look, the only thing I'm going to say is that there is a lady here called Natalie Chia. I'm going to say Natalie. I'm just going to call you Natalie. We're on a first name basis now. And she said, I enjoyed the Beehive Parliament. We got to see the gallery. So here you go.
There you go.
So some people enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe it was just, I was on a bad day. But man, it was really not my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to maybe all the 400 activities that we have done in New Zealand, it was.
I'm at 600. I'm at 600 now, and that is at the bottom of the list. But that's okay. Anyway, YouTube tells me to tell you to like the video, guys. There's 17 of you, so some of you guys actually left between the when I started my rants. You're like, I don't want to hear a grumpy French guy, which is okay. I apologize for the grumpiness. Feel free to hit the like button if you forgive me. Laura, where are we on the chat?
Okay, so we had Mustafa saying hello from Istanbul.
Hey,
hello.
How are you doing? How's it going in Turkey? Are you warm and cozy? It's pretty cold here in New Zealand. It's going to be cold for the rest of the week.
It is very chilly.
Yep.
We also have a question from Sally Hake saying, good morning, Laura and Robin. The helicopter hike tours look amazing but expensive. Which one do you recommend to do if you only have the budget for one, and why? Thank you so much.
Ooh, would you like to take the first pick?
Yes, okay, I will.
Go.
I'm going to start off with Fox Glacier.
Oh.
So Fox Glacier is the glacier that is only 20 minutes drive away from Franz Josef Glacier, which we'll get onto obviously in a little bit. But
you say just one. You pick one, I pick one.
Okay, maybe we won't.
You may not get to it. She gave you some very clear stuff.
Yeah. So what I like about Fox Glacier is that, first of all, it's not as busy as on the Franz Josef Glacier. On the Franz Josef Glacier, you see lots of other tour groups going around. You get overhead, helicopters flying back and forth for the whole time. But compared to Fox Glacier, there's only one guiding company that goes onto the glacier. So you do feel like it is just you and your quite small group, because they are a smaller company. I think their prices are a little bit more expensive than Franz Josef. So that's obviously why a lot of people do go to Franz Josef. But yeah, I actually do feel like it is worth paying a little bit more to be just part of a very small group. If I remember rightly, there was less than 10 of us. There was maybe about, 7 or something. So you do feel like you have the whole place to yourselves. And because of the way the guides were explaining, because of the way that the valley is, where the glacier curves around, it gives more opportunity for the glacier to make lots of different ice caves. and a lot more formations like that come up quite frequently on the Fox Glacier, because on the glaciers, of course, they do have they are ever changing, but on Fox there is more likely to be caves and stuff, and that certainly was the case when we did our tour there. There was, we have pictures in all sorts of different caves and like little crevasses and stuff like that. So that's why I would personally choose Fox Glacier.
I think you should talk a little bit about Franz Josef Glacier before I talk about my pick.
Yeah, so
I don't know why, but I feel like I may not pick Franz Josef. Let's see what I pick. Spoiler.
So Franz Josef Glacier is obviously the most popular one to go to. You have a couple of different companies to go up there with. That means that also, there's more competition for prices to be lower to go up onto the glacier as well. And again, but by saying that Fox Glacier has lots of caves and stuff, that doesn't mean that Franz Josef doesn't. There is certainly a lot of different formations that you can check out, and tour groups tend to be a little bit bigger, so they usually go the helicopters. Maybe it's about 2 helicopter loads per group. And then, you're with quite a large group going on around the glacier. It's still a really amazing experience. If you are on a budget and you feel like that's all you can afford, then by all means, it is still an amazing experience. And even the helicopter ride onto the glacier is amazing to see the amazing sort of valley and mountains around it. So it's a very good tour, but it personally isn't my top pick.
Yeah, but one of the other good points for Franz Josef, to be fair as well, is also the amount of facilities which are around. They're probably out of the 3 main options that you will have for heli-hike in New Zealand, and I'll come to the third one and my favorite one in a second. Franz Josef will be the place where you have the most facilities around. There is albeit very small supermarket, but there is a supermarket there. There are some hot pools. There is a kiwi bird house. So in case you have bad weather, you still have things to do.
Yeah.
You get to see quite a lot of stuff. There is some good glacier kayaking to do around. So there is a lot of different stuff to do there. So because it's probably one of the tour which is the most likely to be cancelled, I'd say. Like in New Zealand, it's the most weather dependent kind of tour, and the weather is extremely changeable on the west coast of New Zealand. Because it can be so changeable, it's good to be in a place where you have other options. So that's kind of why Franz Josef also is that popular.
Yeah.
But moving on to my favorite heli-hike in New Zealand, I will want to talk about Mount Cook, and especially heli-hiking on the Tasman Glacier. So I think the name of the company is called Mount Cook Glacier Guiding, I think, or Glacier Guides, something like that. Yeah. So we've done all 3 of them, and you will see some videos on screen right now when we are republishing this video. And you can check out on NZ Pocket Guide or reviews of those places, as well as on this channel. You can check our videos, full videos of us doing that. But the Tasman Glacier is New Zealand's longest glacier. You are just under Mount Cook, which is New Zealand's tallest mountain. It is one of the least popular places to do the heli-hike there. So you're usually in a really small group. And the huge, massive size of both the glacier and the valley are absolutely gobsmacking. And so I felt like even, when I did Mount Cook, I've already done Franz Josef twice, and I've done Fox and Franz Josef twice when I did Mount Cook for the first time. And I was still in awe and absolutely gobsmacked by the sceneries there. So I feel like they were kind of the best ones. With that in mind, there are similar prices than the others. They're really not, actually, sometimes they're a little bit cheaper, actually. So you can kind of, compare them in that way. Plus, another really good point for it. So although, Mount Cook is really isolated and it's quite a drive out, the weather is less unpredictable there. So you have much less chance to get cancellation when going over there, which is very frequent for Franz Josef. So I do really like also the consistency of the glacier. So the sceneries are fantastic. There is a lot of ice caves as well. It's the longest glacier in New Zealand. It's under the tallest mountain. It's really epic, and on top of it, you are in Mount Cook, where you can do amazing stargazing afterwards. It is just phenomenal. So the whole package for me, I personally would pick Mount Cook if I had to pick only one. But yeah, we have an article on NZ Pocket Guide with the Glacier Country Guides, which I'm going to link in the description of this video, where you'll be able to get more information about all the different glacier options that you have in New Zealand. And there is also a full guide of Mount Cook, where you're going to be able to read about Mount Cook Glacier Guide, which is my personal favorite. So you can read about Laura's favorite, and you can read about my favorite. Plus, again, there are videos about all 3 of those tours on this channel when we go over everything
in detail.
In detail. Yeah, you see us doing the whole tour. Yeah, you literally, I was like, everything that happens, like everything that really happens there is on the tour. So yeah, Here you go. So I hope that this answered your question, Sally. I know that you're planning your trip. I know you're in the UK right now. Now remember, and I know you're planning your trip to New Zealand. So I hope that this helped you make a decision for your itinerary. Feel free to keep the questions coming. And if your name is not Sally, put your questions in the comments of this video. We are here to help. And like and subscribe. YouTube tells me to tell you to say that. Yeah, something like that. Moving on to the live chat. Okay, Swapnil says he got his itinerary for May 2022. Hopefully everything is better by then. Hopefully we got our fingers crossed for you, man. Claire is laughing at probably some of the nonsense that Laura and I are doing. Nathan says, have a great day. See you next week because I have to go work now. Have fun at work. Glad to hear that you're an essential worker. And thank you very much for actually taking the time to get out and go work in these crazy times, mate. Swapnil, sorry, a Sunny Studio said, change that temperature. I changed it now. Is it better? Just tell me, Sunny Studio. Feel free to send me a message. It's also on Facebook. You know, do a screenshot of the stuff and tell me where to put all the sliders. I don't mind. I don't mind at all doing that. Clay says you don't even get to see the gallery where all the fight, they all fight like children. You see it from far away during the Beehive tour, so it's not.
You stand at the entrance. Yeah.
Yeah. So from far away, not okay. Clay says, no, sorry, where are we? Kiwi Lauren is mocking me and says, but tell us how you really feel, Robin. Yeah, well, I like to be honest with you guys. And most, like 99.9% of stuff to do in New Zealand are really awesome. It's just, this one is just my one I don't like.
It's just not as awesome.
You guys should watch the video of us.
Oh, yes, we do. We tried to include that as a video during New Zealand's biggest gap year, where we did 365 days of 365 activities. And because you were not allowed to take cameras in there and there was no negotiating with the New Zealand government, basically, we couldn't do any filming for the tour. So we just had to do a quick filming outside of the Beehive. And filming of the guys telling us to stop filming, and
that's it.
That's about it. And then we just sort of tell you what the tour was like afterwards.
So again, we have Natalie that says she enjoyed Parliament. Clay says, I imagine it would be rubbish. Just look at the press gallery we see at 1 p.m. They have just one camera panning in and out and crappy audio. If they can't sort that out, they can't have a good building tour.
Yeah.
And he says, does your website say the same thing that you just said, Robin? No, I'll let Laura be in charge of that. Because
I like to keep things more factual. Like, this is what you'll see. You decide if that's your thing or not.
if it was me, I would just say rubbish. Moving on.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, we like what we try to do on the website, in all honesty, right? What we try to do on the website is to put all genuine feeling kind of aside and actually tell you factually what things are like, so you can make a decision for yourself if it's good or not for you. Because there are something that we like less than others, right? We love wildlife, but maybe racing cars, not necessarily the thing that we like the most. But if we talk about Highland Motor Parks near Queenstown, it's a really amazing racetrack if you're really into cars. So if I'm just saying I don't like racing cars, it's not really going to do it justice, and you may miss on something that you may really, really love. So we don't really do that.
Yeah.
So on the website, Laura uses a mighty
journalism
skills in order to actually be, honest and fair and all that jazz.
All right, where are we?
Natalie. Oh no, we have Asian that says, "Good morning, Laura and Robin. Hope you guys doing fine." Yes, how is it going for you? Natalie says, another new place I visited recently is the Kate Shepherd House in Christchurch. So for you guys that don't know, Kate Shepherd was one of the main lady that helped the suffragette movements, which is basically the movement that gave women the right to vote here in New Zealand. Ooh. So here you go, a bit of a history for you guys. And yes, you can visit her house, which is not a house anymore. It's kind of like more like a museum, and you can visit all that in Christchurch, which is quite fun to do. Clay says, have they reopened the walk to Fox? I don't think so. Or do they?
I have some information on that. So they haven't reopened the walk that used to be there, which was kind of on the left-hand side of the valley, which we actually do have a video on our channel of us doing that old valley walk. But now they've opened up a new walk, which is on the opposite side of the valley. And basically you have to start the walk on the opposite side of the bridge. over the river, which the Fox Glacier creates. And there is a new walk over there, which lasts about 2 hours. I think it's called something quite basic, like the Fox Glacier South Side hike. We do have updated information on nzpocketguide.com. If you just search walks in Fox Glacier, you'll find the new information of the new walk that you can do there. So yeah, there are alternatives to the walk that was closed a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Also have Anthony Comstock that said that island in the harbour of Wellington. Are you able to stay overnight, or is that just a day trip type?
I think it's just day trip.
Yeah, so he's talking about the Matthew Somes Island, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
No, I hope I'm pretty right. But yeah, so it's just a day trip over there. It's very akin to the islands such as Teriteri Matangi in Auckland Harbour, which is a bird sanctuary over there. And you can literally only go over there just for the day. So you take the ferry in, you do the little walk, and then you take the ferry back. And it will be about the same thing over there in Matthew Somes Island in Wellington. So no, it's just a one day trip. But it's a good way to keep you busy for a weekend, a nice weekend excursion.
Yep.
You may have that in the weekend getaway when I come to Wellington, maybe.
Ooh, spoiler alert.
And that's maybe why I knew that already from the top of my head, maybe. Big Dealer in the house. Say, hi, guys.
Hi, Big Dealer.
Sup? Mohammed says, hello, sir. I have a visit visa. When will the border open? Can you tell me something for visit visa? Clay, get a shot. Laura, go ahead.
Okay, so as of at this time when we're recording it, in August 2021, the borders are still closed to New Zealand. So that also means to people that are on visitor visas. Basically, you can't come back to New Zealand unless you are one of the very, very small portion of people that are essential workers, or you are a New Zealand citizen or resident. Basically, anyone coming to New Zealand on holiday cannot get into the country right now.
And with a visit visa, it's not likely it's happening.
Yeah.
Sadly.
We don't have any new information of when the borders will open for you guys. But if you do want to keep updated with when there are announcements, we do tell you on this channel. So if you do click on subscribe and the notification bell, that way you can get a notification when we do a new announcement.
Here you go. And there's a link to the latest announcement in the description of this video. You can check it out and you will have all the information you need. Kiwi Lauren says, I don't yet own a drone, but I love the photography, videography I've seen in travel videos. I think I remember hearing somewhere that drones are prohibited in many places in New Zealand. Is it true?
Yes, that is very true. There are very strict restrictions on drones in New Zealand. Strict restrictions on drones in New Zealand. For instance, in any national park where it's, where the land's sort of maintained by the Department of Conservation, you have to go through a process where you need to get a drone permit to fly in any national park or Department of Conservation in conservation area, which is where most people will want to do drone flying, because that tends to be the most sort of naturally stunning places in New Zealand. So yeah, you do have to go through a process of getting a drone permit, which also has a fee. So you can go through that process if you feel like you have the time and the money. Also, but then there are different drone laws for different councils around New Zealand. So again, you would have to go through whatever process they have, because they all have different processes. For flying over council land. And then if you are flying over private land, well, in that instance, you then have to get the permission from whoever owns that land. So usually that's a little bit easier if you're staying, say, at an accommodation where they own the sort of, a vast area of where you're staying. Then that's easier to fly a drone there. But yeah, pretty much there are different laws around the country, and there is usually processes and permits you have to get. So it is a little bit of a pain in the bum.
Here you go. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, by the way, do you guys like us on Facebook? Find us on Facebook at NZ Pocket Guide, or on Instagram, find us at NZ Pocket Guide. Sometimes I'm supposed to say those things and I always forget. So if we get an extra like on Facebook, that'd be good.
Clay says she's also on our $10 note, so that's referring to Kate Shepherd.
Yes, she is. She is. I have to say, I do really like the design of New Zealand's dollar bills. I do really like them. They're pretty good. We have an article on NZ Pocket Guide actually about the dollar bills of New Zealand.
Yeah, so that's one of our earliest articles that we wrote on NZ Pocket Guide was who are the people on the NZ banknotes. So you can actually see a little bit of a blurb of the history of each of the people that feature on the New Zealand banknotes. And then there's a quick list at the bottom of the birds that you'll see as well, because on the New Zealand banknotes, there are different native birds of New Zealand, which are quite cute.
I'm popping that on screen right now because I think it's kind of fun. So Edmund Hillary is on the $5 bill right here. You guys can see. Kate Shepherd, that's her right here on the $10 notes. Oh, they just look so good, those bills. I love it. We have I don't know who that is. I think the devil.
The devil.
Queen Elizabeth II on the $20 bill. She just looks so angry on this picture. And then we have Apirana Ngata on the $50 bill, and finally Ernest Rutherford on the $100 bill. So yeah. Here you go. If you guys want to know who are those people and everything, we do have an article on NZ. Okay, for some reason we cover everything.
For some reason.
Yes.
So
moving on.
Clay is talking about the walk to the Fox Glacier, and he says, yeah, I've seen that new walk, but apparently it doesn't go very close and has a viewpoint from far compared to the photos I've seen. I prefer the view of the Mirror Lake. Glad I walked the otherwise before it. Good English.
Wow, you've been sassed, Clay. I mean, how rude. Usually when I read your guys' comments, I had some extra mistakes, and therefore I just skim past them because I'm a terrible English speaker. But Laura just delivers sass to the whip.
I'm just a snob.
That is ruthless.
I'm not going to lie.
Ruthless. Mohammed says, thank you for replying with plenty of flowers.
Nice
They're
flowers.
Nice. They are roses.
I
nice.
get to appreciate the emojis now because if you hadn't noticed, I have access to your guys' comments on this handy little tablet right here. So now I get to appreciate your emojis, which last week I was missing out on all the emoji fun.
So Mohammed, thank you for the roses this week. That's awesome. Sunny Studio says, yes, I sent already a screenshot. I hope it's helpful. Other way you wait when border is open and I come and fix your nice studio.
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
No problem. So send me a screenshot on Facebook and I'll reply to you and we'll go over it. I'm actually recording another video at 12 p.m. today. I'm doing an interview with a Tongan athlete, which is quite famous. I don't know if you guys have watched the Olympic. Well, I'll tell you guys. I don't know if you guys have watched the Olympics. This is a kind of spoiler craziness.
Wow.
If you guys watch the Olympic ceremony and if you've seen the flag bearer from Tonga, that's beautiful oiled guy. His name is Peter. He's really awesome and he's actually friends with some people that we know in Tonga. And so we're going to be doing an interview with him and he's going to share the favorite thing that he likes to do in Tonga, his food and all these kind of things. And I'm recording that today. I can't guarantee that he's going to be oil and shirtless for the interview. But yeah, he's going to share a lot of things about his beautiful land of Tonga, and hopefully I get to publish this video in the next couple of weeks, which is going to be quite awesome. But yeah, if you watched the Olympic and you saw him, he was all over the news, man. He's like in 2016 as well. He was all over the news with his oil shirtless flag bearer of Tonga. But yeah, so yeah, that's going to be fun. Anyway, I'm doing an interview with him at 12 o'clock today, so in literally about 3 hours from now. So yeah, Sunny Studio, that's going back to that. If you send me the settings, I may just do those settings for that interview. Moving on, Tamo, what is Tamo saying?
They say, I've been planning visiting New Zealand for years now, and the plan was to come to New Zealand in March 22. Looks like I have to postpone my trip, and therefore there is a risk to overplan everything.
Welcome to the best place to overplan everything. This is NZ Pocket Guide. This is where we tell you about all the things there is to do in New Zealand and where you decide to put way too much in your itinerary and plan every single second of your trip. You are in the best place for that.
Yes.
But yeah, hopefully March 2022, depending on which country you're from, it may work, but honestly, sometimes it's just safer to postpone. And yeah, we usually say it's a good thing because you get more time to plan your trip, because a lot of people, they kind of plan last minute and everything like that. But it looks like for you, it's going to be a bad thing. And I'm sorry about it.
Yeah.
But that gives you plenty of time to hang out with us, go over your itinerary. Maybe we can help you do the hard work. Come to us with all the stuff you want to do. And we may just help you kind of cross something off. Most of the time when we get some people asking us questions, they ask us to add things to their itinerary, which is absolutely fine. That's what we love to do. But sometimes one of the hardest things is to choose between A and B. And so we could help you do that as well. And you see, that's, for example, what Sally was asking before. She won't be able to do like we do, like do the heli-hike on the glacier in New Zealand multiple times. Like, I'm the only one to have the chance to do heli-hiking in New Zealand. Well, that was 5 times. I've done it 6 times now in 3 different glaciers. That's really lucky. You only going to have a chance to do one. So because I've done it that much, I can tell you, listen, this is the best one for your itinerary and everything like that. So yeah, feel free to come to us with that. That means, Tamo, we have some time to hang out together. It's a good thing. What's Sally saying?
Sally says, thank you guys. That was great info. You're very welcome, Sally.
And yeah, this video is going to be republished in a few weeks or something when I have time, and I'll add visuals to it and everything like that to help out. But in the meantime, check out our videos of us actually doing those tools on the channel, and I'm really going to tell you exactly what each tool entails, and therefore you'll be able to make a really well-informed choice.
Absolutely.
Clay.
Do you want to read?
No, go ahead.
There's a few loopholes to get around a couple of those things, Lauren, but as a traveler, I wouldn't bother. Save the space for something in duty-free. Oh, are we missing a...
No, it's talking about drones.
Oh, drones, yeah.
Go.
Okay, thank you. And then Clay also says, view of the glacier from the Mirror Lake, and YouTube limiting my messages. The rest is there. I haven't had much to drink yet, guys. Come on.
Oh, come on. There's already twice. Twice. It's 9 o'clock. I'm worried for you. One of those live sessions is going to be an intervention. You know that, right? We're going to have your friends and family coming here and be like, Clay.
You need to stop watching NZ Pocket Guide and drinking all those spirits on a Sunday morning.
we say that because we love you. Mark Lockwood, what is Mark saying?
Saying, hi there from the UK. What's the weather like? I do like your videos and want to visit New Zealand post-lockdown.
What's the weather like? Right now, it's really cold. In general, in New Zealand, Laura actually did have a bit of a discussion about the weather last week. But do you want to compare quickly between New Zealand and the UK?
So the weather, obviously in New Zealand, the seasons are opposite to what it is in the UK. So the seasons right now, we are in winter. So winter is June, July, and August. Then we have what's after that? Spring, September, October, November. Then we have summer, which is December, January, and February. And then we have spring, which is March, April, and May. So as you can see, the seasons are pretty much the opposite of what it is in the UK. So that's the first thing to bear in mind. In terms of the weather in terms of temperature is kind of similar to the UK, but maybe it gets a little bit warmer in New Zealand during the summer. And that's also mainly because the UV levels are more harsh in New Zealand. The UV ratings are some of the highest in the world. So you do need to slap on very high factor sunscreen in New Zealand. But that also means that when you are outside in the sun, it does feel really hot sometimes. And then you compare that to going in the shade, and then it can feel like it's a dramatic change of temperature.
It's a white, pasty English skin that doesn't really like the sun too much, let's be honest.
And then in terms of, New Zealand has a good mix of rain, sunshine. Snow only tends to appear on the more mountainous regions, which happens in the central North Island and in the center, down the center of the South Island. So that's where you get the most snow. But otherwise, it has a maritime climate around. It's mostly coastal cities around New Zealand, so you don't really get snow there. Instead, you'll get rain, which when it rains, it pours. It's usually
when it rains,
it's usually very heavy rain. But because because New Zealand is an island, again like the UK, but because New Zealand's an island, that sort of the weather is being pushed quite fast, so weather can change quite fast as well. And that's why there is a famous saying in New Zealand, which is 4 seasons in a day, because you can experience all seasons in a day. You can experience weather all over the place in New Zealand. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what the weather is like in New Zealand. But if you want to see a written form of that answer, probably much well articulated, unlike this sentence right now, then you can head over to nzpocketguide.com. We do have loads of articles on
They're much well, lots of weather articles. Much well.
We got good weather articles on. That was probably the best articulation I've just done when I tried to do
the Goodwill article. Yeah, okay. All right.
Anyway, but yeah, I still want to wrap up what I'm going to say. So on nzpocketguide.com, go check out our weather articles, where we do also have articles on the weather month by month. So if you're planning to come to New Zealand for a particular month, you can see what the weather's typically like during that month.
All right, go back to read the dictionary over there.
Yes. Sorry for that absolute. Yeah.
Now Clay is saying what he meant otherwise instead of no, it's meant other side instead of otherwise.
Oh,
Stupid
yeah.
phone thinks it knows more than me what I want to say. Well, I just want to also point out that Clay is blaming YouTube for the shortness of his stuff. He's blaming people for his current soberness. He's blaming his phone for his typos. I feel like you have a lot of excuses, sir. At some point, you're going to have to take ownership of your own. What kind of example is that, sir? Take ownership of your own mistakes.
Yes.
Mohammed says, can I come to New Zealand on a visit visa and apply for jobs there? Guide me. Sadly, you cannot. It is illegal in New Zealand to actually do that. If you come in New Zealand on a visit visa, your main purpose of coming to travel to New Zealand must be for holiday purposes and not for work. If you're looking to get a job in New Zealand, you have to get yourself a proper work visa. And to do that, you need to contact immigration.govt.nz. That's immigration.govt.nz. That's the official New Zealand immigration website, and they will guide you from there. We are not registered immigration advisor, and we are not able to provide you with advice on immigrating in New Zealand, as it is illegal to do so under New Zealand law. Woo! Look at that. I nailed this one. You should have a shot for me on that one, Clay. Come on, look at this one. Bam, 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 bam. Anthony says, stay safe, but I'm here until the end. Oh, yeah, that's true. By the way, I'm going to close the poll in literally 1 minute. So 36 of you have voted. We have 24 people watching. We only have 18 likes. So there's 6 people that are watching and don't like the video, but there's 36 people that voted on the poll. All those numbers are so confusing. I know there's an explanation behind it, but I can't be first trying to figure it out. PPK Hero D Car says, the New Zealand borders open now for students yet? Clay, this one's for you. Laura, go ahead.
No, the borders are not open for students yet. In New Zealand, there's been no official announcement of when the borders are going to be open. But if you do want to get updated information for particularly students, then you can go over to the Ministry of Education website. Perhaps Robin will put it on screen, maybe not. I don't know. No, can't be bothered.
Can't do that today.
Okay.
Sorry, it's not I can't be bothered. It's just I do know there is a current bug right now that created myself before the live session, and therefore I can't do it.
You'd rather avoid it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you go into the New Zealand Ministry of Education website, and over there you'll get more information on the borders situation with international students.
Nice. Okay, so we have Tamo that says, thank you. I'm tempted to accept your offer for help to tick and untick items in my endless itinerary. I've probably seen every single video in your channel. Very helpful. Have you watched 1,200 videos of ours? That is insane.
That's insane.
Thank you very much. That's awesome.
Good over planning.
Yes, good over planning. Very good. Yeah, so absolutely, seriously, just you can flick us. If you want to flick us on Facebook, like maybe your list of itinerary and say, I'm choosing between this and that, this and that, this and that. You know, you give us A, B every time. And then we'll do it during the one live session. We just print it and do it. And happy to help. You know, we're probably going to still be on lockdown tomorrow. So probably all the stuff we're going to be talking about is just lockdown. So if we do have something to talk about, which is traveling in New Zealand, we'll be happy.
Yes, we will.
So yeah, by all means do that. Or you can even put it in the comment section of any of our videos. You know, we're pretty flexible on that. Oh my globe says, I hope you guys have a good morning coming from Indonesia. Stay safe and healthy. You stay safe and healthy too. Thank you so much. That's very nice.
Mohammed says, thanks, with lots of laughing emojis.
Nice.
And then we have PPK
Hero D Car that says, thank you.
Thank you. And then Clay says, cheers for that. Might help with all my mistakes, like being a shark at pool after a couple of pints. Lol. Shark at pool after a couple of pints.
What?
Maybe you've had a mishap on your phone again, Clay, or maybe the mishap is us two not getting all the jokes. Maybe our sense of humor is just really bad today.
Maybe we just don't have the same common culture right here. But what?
Might help. Like what? Being a shark at pool after a couple of pints.
The game pool, shark being good. Oh, okay. The game pool. Okay, at the bar, you play pool. I get that.
And sharks are renowned
to be good at pool.
For being good at pool,
Yes.
obviously. They're
And
good
so-
at swimming in pools.
So I suck at pool because I don't have fins and I have hands. Now I get it. There's an excuse for me. Okay, the poll is ended. You guys prefer long videos. 51% of you guys prefer video 10 minutes and longer.
Wow.
So I did not know that. That is great to know. So you guys will be welcome to enjoy all the New Zealand's biggest gap year recap videos, which are all about 10 minutes or longer. But there's a bunch of shorter videos coming for all the other ones that voted for something else. And they're all shorter because I did not know that. I should have talked for longer. Anyway, get to learn every day thanks to you guys. I love it. Okay.
Clay's rolling his eyes at us and laughing, which makes sense.
All right, guys, it's time to wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching this live session. We'll be back up next week. Well, the Kiwi would like to say hi to Reed for some reason. I don't know why, but he's like, I want to say hi to Reed. Hi, Reed.
Special announcement for Reed.
Have a good day, Reed. And yeah, we see you next week at the same time, 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And feel free to send us all your questions. Feel free to like us on Facebook, Instagram, all these kind of things. You know, we're in the tourism realm right now. It's a bit tough to kind of hang on nowadays. So yeah, you know, share us on social media, share our page on social media, share our posts. Just, you know, be cool to us. It'll be awesome. And in the meantime, see you next week. Bye-bye.
See you next week. Bye. Cheers.